My favorite Resident Evil moment in the entire series is the mutant gator in Resident Evil 2. When you're playing as Leon and you see Ada shooting at the water down in the sewage and you don't know what she's shooting at, and then all of a sudden this gator just comes at you. I had never seen anything so unexpected or terrifying in a video game in my entire life.
My favorite moment from any Resident Evil is Resident Evil 7, and I played through the entirety of Resident Evil 7 in VR. And the moments that I remember most was sitting down to dinner with the Baker family. In VR was incredible when they try to feed you the food.
My favorite moment from Resident Evil is from Resident Evil 1. The opening scene. It starts out with the shaky cam, which has no reason or rhyme. We then cut to Jill screaming, "Joseph!" but with her eye line clearly not at anyone in particular. And then we end with Chris shouting, "No! Don't go!" 20 years ago, it was terrifying. Now, it's just a wonderful piece of Resident Evil history.
So my favorite introduction to any Resident Evil game ever is Resident Evil 4. You arrive at the village, you're suddenly surrounded by zombies, only those aren't zombies. And then there's Dr. Salvador. He's kind of swinging around at you. And then you're literally saved by the bell. The church bell starts ringing. They all start to leave. The game has just kind of decided that, oh, okay, you can live. For now.
My favourite moment in the Resident Evil series is probably the DLC from Resident Evil 7 called Bedroom.
Our daughter really likes you. She wants you to be her big brother.
It's fantastic because it takes the Resident Evil survival horror genre and moves it into this escape the room from hell puzzler. You have to get out of bed and you have to make as little noise as possible, open drawers, move picture frames. If she comes back in the room because she hears a noise, you've got to go back in that bed as quick as possible. And if she notices one thing out of place, she goes mental. Vomits bugs in your face.
I'll be good, I'll be good.
My favorite Resident Evil memory is definitely your first encounter with Mr. X in Resident Evil 2. So they drop him from this plane and he crash lands through the police department's ceiling. And you know when you're playing as Leon that as you walk around that next corner or into that next hall, he's gonna be there and you're gonna have to fight him. But he's invincible and he ends up chasing you throughout the whole game. It makes for such an awesome antagonist.
My favourite Resident Evil moment was from Resident Evil 7, but not the actual game, but the demo that came out just before the game. My interest was piqued because there was this hint of mystery and horror elements that had been missing from the franchise for quite a while, to be honest. It was a fantastic demo for teasing what Resident Evil 7 was eventually going to be. And of course it gave us our first reveal of the main villain from Resident Evil 7, Jack Baker.
Welcome to the family, son.
The Resident Evil remake originally for GameCube is one of my favorite games of all time. In the original, you would walk down this hallway and dogs would come bursting through a window and it would scare the crap out of me as a kid. But in the remake, when you walk down that hallway, there's a big thump and a small chunk of glass just falls on the ground in front of you. And so you think nothing's going to happen until you come down that hallway the other direction and the dogs come bursting through the window. The first time it happened to me, I was in a house in the dark, all by myself, and I freaking lost it.
My favorite moment is the chopper crash in Resident Evil 2. I think that it best exemplifies the fact that in old RE games, there is always two sides to every story, which is something I really, really love about the franchise. You know, playing through the first time as Leon and finding the nose of the chopper smashed through the wall, just being like, oh shit, what happened here? And then playing through again as Claire later on, and being like, oh, that's how that happened. That was awesome.
That was pretty impressive back there, Sherry.
It was nothing.